In this video, I'm going to make a couple of rod holders for the fishing boat. I'd like to make them out of aluminum. Obviously, steel is going to rust really fast. We're in a marine environment here on a saltwater canal. So I found this piece of aluminum stock that I think is going to work out very nicely. It's what is that, about a 1/4 inch thick, 3/16, something like that. So it'll be heavy enough, and I'll just cut it in half. And I've got this junk bike. It's just sitting upside down here as the forks drain out. But I'm just going to cut off a piece of this pipe here, and then we'll go ahead and weld a piece of pipe to the flat plate, screw it to the deck of the boat, and that should do it. I've used the square to mark off my cuts there so that so I didn't end up at a crazy angle. Well, I couldn't get through the tube all the way with the angle grinder, and I don't want to wreck the rest of this tubing, the rest of this aluminum tubing, because I might need it for another project. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish off by hand. So I've got my material cut up, and I guess one comment I want to make is one of the things I found out that makes the cuts a lot better is when you're on there with the angle grinder, instead of trying to cut all the way through in one single cut, maybe make a real light cut first. It's a lot easier to hold your lines and so forth, and then after you made your light cut, then come back and make a deeper cut, and then make a deeper cut yet. Don't be in a rush to get through the material. Just back and forth, or in the case of these pipes, just set it down sideways here and just kind of make a cut down the side, and then roll it down the side, and so forth. And then once you've got a groove all the way through, then it's a lot easier to kind of make that cut straight without any any fancy equipment. I just use the hand angle grinder here, and looks like those cuts came out pretty close. You can see there's a slight gap at the bottom, and they're touching at the top, but that's pretty darn close. I'm not sure exactly what fasteners I want to put these down with yet, but one thing's for sure: if I drill a hole in the drill press before I weld this, it's going to be a lot easier to open them up if I need to. So I'll go ahead and put in a small hole with the idea that that I can open it up a little bit when I mount it if I need to. So I went ahead and hit my parts with a sander for both these rod holders, and I did wipe this one down with acetone. These stickers that are on here, when I hit it with the sander, it just kind of like spread that glue around. And I did want to get that off. Most of the guys will say, "Oh, you got to wipe it all down with acetone." I don't know that my welds are good enough to justify being that clean about it. So anyway, you can see here as it sits, by the way, that it sits pretty flat actually. So when you make your cuts like that, like I was saying before, they come out a lot better. So I went ahead and marked these with a Sharpie so that so these pipes can be on there, centered on the pipe. Went ahead and used a pair of calipers here. A little busted set, but easy enough to just go ahead and measure that it's the same from side to side. So it's time to get the welder and get these things welded together. I'm never quite sure how to handle this. This pipe is about 80 thousandths thick, which should call for about 80 amps. And this plate is a 1/4 inch, which should call for 250 amps. So I'm going to give it a shot at 130 amps and see where we're at, with the idea that I'm going to try to focus the heat down onto the base plate and see how this works out. For anybody that has any doubt, I definitely am not a great welder, but I am getting better. So let's see how this works out. So this started out really bad, and I decided to turn up the frequency, turn up the current, and I was able to get some decent tacks on this, at least decent by my standard. So let's see if I can get this thing welded. Well, it may be hard to imagine that these welds are an improvement from where it was, but I finally got my settings down to where I about wanted them, and I just kind of ran over the whole thing again. Kind of welded started to melt my plate here in the base, but they're not great looking welds, but I'm pretty sure those are going to hold. So for now, that's got to be good enough. So I went ahead and wire brushed these off. Those stickers that were on here were totally baked. So, and then also using a deburring tool, kind of took the burrs off the top here. So, got some crud down there, and these aren't exactly the best, but I guess the boat isn't the best either. So, on top of it all, I went ahead and got some weld over one of my holes. Good thing I drilled that first. So anyway, no big deal, I guess. I'll go ahead and clear that out and get a coat of paint on these. I got a coat of paint on these, but my rod's pretty expensive. It's got a cork handle and I don't want to wreck it. So I'm going to use is this it's a 3M it's electrical mastic tape. You get this in the electrical section of Home Depot, and this stuff is probably about 1/16 of an inch thick. It's got some some body to it. So I'm going to put a layer of that right inside here, and then another one draped across the top. It's kind of gummy in the center, but as long as you have this protective layer here, that gumminess doesn't make it to the surface. So I got a layer just on the inside and another one just on the outside and over the top. This stuff tends to, you kind of push it down a bit, and it'll kind of like stick there after a while. It'll come up for a little bit, I think, but then after a while it just kind of sticks. It kind of got to give it a chance to kind of like stick there. It's something I use on my bicycles to protect the chain stays from chain slat. So once it's stuck on there, it's pretty tough getting it off. So anyway, I get these mounted on the boat, and we'll see how they work. There they are, mounted on the back of the boat. They should make fishing alone a little easier. Thanks for watching my video. Have a great day. Also, please leave any comments, thoughts, or suggestions in the comments below. Kind of try to get some comments and likes on the channel if possible. See if we can get a little bit more action going on here. Like to kind of see that this channel can get monetized sometime, if possible. So anyway, we'd need 1,000 subscribers for that, and it'd really help if you'd leave a comment and hit that like. Thanks.